I think the best way to understand this white privilege nonsense is really, as you know, in the military they call it a psychological operation, a psyop. And that's really what it is. They are, with a very specific agenda here, they are messing with the minds of children. Now, you know, we talk in the book, we actually have 2 chapters about how the education establishment deliberately targeted blacks to create this kind of underclass, and you know it's a tragedy of monumental proportions. These were all these eugenicists who thought that, you know, blacks are inferior, and so, you know, we're going to educate them, so-called, in this way. You know, what they're doing with the white privilege is setting up antagonisms, stirring up hatred, creating divisions, because, you know, it's easier to exploit people if they're divided. And I think that's the idea here. They want to separate everybody into warring camps, and then, you know, nobody ever looks at the real problem. So you have blacks blaming whites for all the problems. You have a lot of whites increasingly blaming blacks for the problems. And you know, this doesn't actually benefit anyone. If anything, it's going to tear our society apart, and that's a big danger. And you know, all the while, you know, in the Wizard of Oz, you have the man behind the curtain, and that's what's going on here. You have sinister forces that want to advance sinister objectives, and they're laughing all the way to the bank with this white privilege stuff. And frankly, I find this white privilege propaganda to be disgusting, and I think it needs to be shut down immediately, especially when you're talking about using our tax dollars to promote this kind of nonsense. Because what they're doing is, you know, they're shaming people, they're creating these artificial divisions that don't need to be there, that don't accomplish anything positive, but that do accomplish a lot of negative things. And the American people need to wake up. You know, this is bad for whites, it's bad for blacks, and it's bad for Americans. It's bad for our society and for our culture. This ends in nothing good. And you know, if we want to see the results of this kind of fanning of ethnic hatred and racial hatred, you know, we can just look to other places in the world where we've had those kinds of things, like South Africa.